20 days, and then you come back and they sent us home for another 30 days. That got us through Christmas.
Oh, okay. But were you stationed in a barrack something in New York or?
It was just a barracks.
Huh.
They weren't doing anything there really.
So
That's-
what did you do during the days? Just hang out, or did you have work to do, or?
Yeah, we had work in them because we worked in the kitchen. I don't know how many days. We weren't there very long because they just got us in, got us all paperwork, sent us home for 20 days. We come back, and they did a couple more days. They sent us home for another 30 days. Then when they come back, they start sending them home or sending them to duty, whatever.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. It was good. And that's pretty good snow. Yeah, because they hadn't been plowing the roads out all the time. So when you walked under what'll be a bridge, so it'd be trucks up, cars and trucks up above and cars down here. And a lot of them, people just left them sit because they didn't have gas for them anyway.
Huh.
They just sat out there.
So they've been sitting through the war, or?
Yeah, the war was over.
But I mean, they've been sitting there for a long time.
Oh, you couldn't see the road. Cars were sitting there and they're covered with snow, and the sidewalk was underneath, and people walking on the sidewalk, but that was, it might have been there for a month or two.
Oh, okay.
And it was covered up. It was, I never intended to get caught with that guy. He was a Southerner, and he was hillbilly as all get out.
Oh.
But I was going to go walking around by myself.
He just wasn't a good. He was just a little bit too bigoted, huh?
Yeah, I don't think it went in place with him anymore. He was a redneck, that's for sure.
Oh. So did you see Vaughn Monroe then? Did you see Vaughn Monroe?
Oh, sure.
Oh.
Yeah. It was nasty. He didn't have a full house that night
Oh.
because that's the first song he sang. The weather outside was frightful.
Is that the first big concert you'd been to? Anybody famous?
Yeah, we had some, when I was in the hospital,
Okay.
guys that would come in and put on shows for us, because a lot of those guys are pretty well shot up.
Yeah.
I know the guy that was so nice to me, he was a corpsman, and he had most of all this bone shot out of here. So he was in a cast like this. They were trying to get enough build up so they could build that bone up a little bit more. And I got to come in one day, and I was freezing. And so you just can't be freezing, it's so many degrees.
Oh.
And then the head nurse, and she was a first lieutenant, I think. She and the officer of the day, they hurry up and get it done so they could go town. I think they're probably both married about it. I don't know.
Oh, they're going to town together.
Then this guy was a patient really, but he was concerned, about me. And he went, there was a doctor just come back from States. He'd been healed up. He was shot up pretty bad. So he was just coming back, and he was going to send him to duty so that the other guys could go home.
Wow.
Because he didn't have enough time off, I guess. And he went and talked to that lady, but she was in a hurry to get out and see to take care of her or something like that. And they took my temperature, and it was crazy. And he said, well, you got a bad infection someplace. And he said, you had any bumps or something that you got some swelling? And I don't know, they're looking here. It's right here. It just come from my leg, just turned up to my waist. And he said, there's something wrong here. And then he took my temperature. I forget what it was. I don't really remember, but I know it was high. So they put me on a double shot of penicillin every 3 hours.
Oh, man.
And cleaned the room out and give me a room a moment and the orderly there, I've been talking to him all the time, and so they put him up with me for 3 days. So I had to take that double shot of penicillin and had to order with me for 3 days, and then it left.
That was infection from the bone graft, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, where they took the graft out.
Yeah,
Because it was right in here.
yeah, yeah.
So then he was sort of my companion, but that's not what it was. He was with me all the time. Then the Army, Navy, Marines were all playing football.
Yeah, okay.
So I got to see 3 games there. I couldn't. They took us in buses. You didn't have to pay nothing. It was great.
Ah, tough.
And he was with me all the time. And so if I want something, I give him money. He would go get it.
Wow, wow.
Yeah,
That's great.
that's pretty neat.
Yeah. So that infection only lasted a few days.
Yeah, I think I probably had a temperature or something like 15 days or something like
Okay.
that. But then from then on, I didn't have to have any duty anymore, and we came back on a hospital ship. We had 73 in our ward, and I think 69 of them went back on the aircraft carrier, and me and I think there were 4 of us went back on hospital ship.
Oh.
So that was a lot of the Navy. Well, they were well, they weren't even doctors, they were mostly nurses. If I remember right, there was like 150 of them that were Marines.
On the hospital ship.
Yeah, the hospitals. No, aircraft carrier.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay.
Going back on its first run.
Oh, on its first run.
Yeah, first one after the war.
Wow, okay.
And, oh yeah, and I didn't have a uniform because they lost my uniforms. I said, what am I going to do? And say, got to have a uniform, be on deck. So there was a Marine center. He said, I can help you out. He said, we just came from Australia. He said, there's a group down there. They just rotated. They just went down there. He said, I know all their numbers. He said, I'll just take your numbers, we'll go over and get you some clothes. So I got 3 uniforms, but no dress uniforms.
Huh.
We're dang. Yeah, I did too, because on the ship as we pulled off around, what's the big mountain?
The Diamondback, or?
No,
Diamond?
yeah, but they had
Oh,
Diamond,
yeah.
Diamond, yeah. As we pulled away from there, I told all the enlisted men go below. Couldn't stay up anymore. They let me up till the end of that day. Then the next day, I couldn't go up anymore either. And I was on a special diet. And oh yeah, we had the women were down there in a I think they had a whole floor to themselves. And where we had to go eat was just a little dorsal who sits in on the floor, but they brought our food to us.
How long did it take to get back to the States, to California?
I think it was 17 days, I think.
Okay.
Because we were in a hospital ship, they're not too fast. The aircraft carrier, we left at 10 in the morning, they left at 4 in the afternoon, and they passed us before morning, the next morning. And then the big storm in Okinawa,
Yeah.
and then it came over this way, because Harry was in Okinawa, and he said they listed 2 inches less than flipping,
Wow.
because they were really worried,
Wow.
but they never flipped. But
What was he on? What kind of ship was he on?
I think he was on a destroyer,
Wow.
because he said it listed actually more than what was supposed to, and without flipping over. And none of them got to eat anything because
Yeah.
they couldn't cook stuff. Now on a hospital ship, we ate cold food.
Wow.
One guy, you had tables that are on sleeves, and you slip them up and down the pipe,
Yeah.
and they just clamp them. And somebody, the thing collapsed, and I think it broke his leg. So after that, they give us cold food. We eat on the floor.
Because the seas were so rough? Because the seas were so rough, or?
Yeah,
Oh. Oh.
it's pretty nasty.
Oh.
And we had much else to do. So I usually went up in the nose. There was those smoothers there. And I had bags of stuff up there and sit there and take a nap or whatever.
Oh.
almost forgot about all that stuff.
It's been a while.
And I started out in the Navy Air Corps. It was tough. We got 4 years and 18 months. You were awake, you were exercising, or you were studying, or you were sleeping.
Wow.
You could. One of the other guys told me, he said, get up here and right up in the nose, you could see the fish, flying fish.
Oh yeah.
They go down in the
The flying fish or like dolphins or something?
no, they're
The flying fish. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
living
yeah.
fish.
Yeah.
But they'd fly down the, because he's
Right,
like this,
yeah,
they'd
yeah.
fly in a groove.
Yeah.
It was fun.
But it gets a little boring after a while.
I forgot all about that stuff.